welcome to another video with me, Bailey. This is Cosmos with Bailey, and I'm a clairvoyant, psychic medium, and spiritual healer based in New Zealand. Welcome. Okay, so this video is just going to be a quick video because I know there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the psychic realms and also a lot of stuff we experience in the common day world. And this video is going to be on Life Force Leeching, energetic harvestation, and interference in the energy body in the earth realm. And I'm going to give a little bit of a higher explanation and a more of an empowered perspective on life force and how other people are experiencing their life force on the earth. First and foremost, we all embody different levels or amounts of life force. Life force is our spiritual energies and the energies that we use to cultivate upon the earth. This involves our energetic system and our chakra system and how embodied in light, spiritual light we are, which is life force and the life force of all creation. Everything is made of life force on this earth. However, in this current day reality, we're experiencing very little amounts of life force and very great levels of disempowerment. So the less light and life force you're working with, the harder and denser the earthly realm feels on the spirit. So things like trauma, abuse, disempowerment create feelings that you cannot create with your life force. There are deep feelings of enslavement, which is the old world planetary consciousness, and that you cannot create a quality of life with your own life force and your own choice. There are a lot of belief systems that govern this earth that we cannot use our life force and create. With spirit, we cannot create a joyous and wondrous and joyful life. We are moving and evolving out of enslavement and survival consciousness. And as such, many people are starting to wake up and feel they don't want to live life a certain way anymore. However, there are many people on this earth still experiencing and expressing themselves in the old world planetary survival and enslavement consciousness, and this is okay. This is what we call collective consciousness. However, things are changing and we are not wanting to live like that anymore. So yes, as I say in many of my videos, there are many different realms of existence on this earth. You could have people on this earth incorporating and working with vast amounts of life force and creative energy. You could have others that are still in survival and are not aware of the chakra system and the creator and working with life force and cultivating a sense of self with life force, and that's okay. However, I'm assuming people that are watching my videos are more interested in self-empowerment and moving into more realms of love, light, creativity, and beauty with the spirit. And by getting there, you're wanting to work with more life force. However, there are some very disempowering things that can happen on this earth when it comes to life force. Usually when you're embodying higher levels of life force and light, you'll have high levels of creative thinking. You can move out of density very easily. You can see things from a more empowered and positive perspective. And you're more likely to go and choose enjoyable and exciting experiences for yourself and wanting to create art and beauty and cooking and wanting to work with life force in the physical realm in a really joyous way. However, there is also, as I said, a lot of belief systems working on this earth through other people and the collective consciousness, and very little light operating in many people, and that's okay. They're on the journey into it, moving into more light. But a lot of times people have to go through very dark, very hefty dark nights of the soul to start moving out of those lower realms. And yes. So because there are many of us experiencing ourselves very differently with different, I want to say, light quotas of life force, what can happen is that people who have yet to cultivate their own sense of light and spirit will and can try and use others' life force for their own benefit and self gain. This is a lack of spirit and life force within. And as said, everyone is on their own unique soul journey. But also, I have talked about spiritual discernment and psychic boundaries. And that it's not wise to just sort of go and give your life force away to things that aren't respectful and honoring of loving of who you are as a spirit and who you are as a person. And so, yeah, many things can happen. Things that are super, super common on this earth with life force and the aura and energy body and the energetic body is that someone who is just operating off of fear and survival will use and abuse someone else's life force to get their needs met. This is very, very common. And a lot of the times when people do this, they aren't consciously aware that they're doing it. However, other people are very consciously aware of what they're doing. And then you've also got things like black magic, where people will consciously use darker energies to try and get what they want or stop others' pathways. But in the end, it's very childish because you can't sort of overcome cause and effect of the cosmos. You know what I mean? Do unto others that you won't do to yourself. Yeah, so it's very, very common to have energetic leeching happen. So this is when someone else's energy will take from your life force for themselves. And these cords and connections can be created psychically and energetically when you are losing your sense of self and someone else is becoming more empowered via the leeching of the energy. It's very, very common. It's incredibly common. It's very common in family dynamics. If you've got one person who's more empowered than the rest of the family dynamic, you'll also find that if you're holding very, very strong amounts of life force and light, that if you go into environments where people are not holding lots of light and life force, you can feel the heaviness of the energy and the life force, and it starts to make you feel not so happy. It's very easy to sort of tell where the life force or the energy is sitting in that group energy. If you are holding vast amounts of light or life force, joy, happiness, creativity, you want an empowered life. And what typically tends to happen on this earth is people conglomerate in groupings that suit their frequency and make them feel comfortable. So that's life force frequency almost. And connecting into energies where their frequency feels most comfortable. And what can happen is if someone is holding vast amounts of life force and creativity and light, is that it makes other people who are not holding that amount of joy, debris, and light very uncomfortable because it makes them aware that they don't have that. However, everyone is capable of cultivating that amount of life force. By chakra work, by energy work, by cultivation, it's very easy to bring down more light into your body by clearing out dense energy like trauma and unhappiness and family pain and trauma that you've sort of incarnated into. Yes, and also, leeching is very common. Harvestation is incredibly common via relationship or sexual connection. If someone or a woman or a man is in survivalist, they can use and abuse your sexual energy for themselves. It's very common. Interference is very, very common as well. And usually when you really start to embody more and more higher levels of light and discernment, you'll find that you'll come up against a lot more interference. That's very common as well, and it's just a testing of your boundaries. And basically, it's just a discernment and differences of life force expression and the differences of realms and how spiritual energies operate. So when you have that discernment and the higher understanding of how life force is working in the realms, you know there's nothing to fear and that you can just remove yourself from energies that are disempowering, dishonoring, and disloving of your light and life force. However, it does take time to find the right people. Usually people who have high amounts of light and life force are a lot more positive to be around. They're wanting more expansive opportunities. They're not afraid to go off and try things. It makes people who are in a lot of fear feel very uncomfortable. And that's okay. That's just where someone's experiencing themselves. And so what I talked about in creating your own energy line in the Q&A was being able to say yes and no to things authentically that are supportive of your light and love within yourself. It's seeing people for where they're experiencing themselves and being authentic and true to who you are with your own unique life force, and saying, you know what, I don't think that group of people is for me right now, or maybe I need to take a break from the family dynamic because I don't feel very loved and supported right now, and I'm looking to align with people on a like-minded resonance. So with life force, it's all about resonance. And usually when you've cultivated enough light and life force, you do not want to take from others. You want to work with other empowered individuals. And I do know there's lots of moving around taking place in the cosmos. But yeah, leeching, harvestation, and interference is very, very common in the lower realms. And once you understand how to navigate those experiences, they're just a part of life, and they're nothing to worry about. So people who really enforce fear and drama and disempowerment via psychic interference, leeching, and harvestation, they are very disempowered individuals. There is no need to be on this earth and be afraid of these things. Once you understand them and you come from the higher perspective, you know there's nothing to fear, and that someone else is just experiencing themselves in a different realm or life force expression to you. And what's going on in their aura or their life or their energy body is none of your business. But also with high amounts of life force, you want to get lots of self-respect and have boundaries and discernment for where you're guiding your energies, so you may be free to enjoy yourself on the earth. Okay, thank you very much for watching, and I hope that was helpful. Oh, hold on a minute. I'm just going to talk a little bit about, and how to remove these things out of your energy field. Sometimes there's a little bit of past life. It's very common about now to have lots of connections end as you want to move up into higher realms. You want to start ending connections and relationships and friendship dynamics that are not very supportive or loving. There's usually a lot of past life connections and those types of experiences. In that case, go see a spiritual healer, or tune into yourself and see what you can do. If you feel there's leeching or incredible harvestation, or you've lost your power, or you had a bad relationship and you can't get your life force back to how it was, there could be other people's energy playing in your energy field. There's lots of things that could happen that affect your quality of life from other people's life force. So it's very important to cultivate spiritual and psychic hygiene, and also understand that from someone who knows what they're doing. As I said, I have these things called spirit world sessions that help you empower yourself psychically and spiritually into more life force discernment, joy, light, and love. We needn't be afraid of leeching, harvestation, or interference. There are always ways that we can say no thank you and remove energies from our energy field. I'm also just going to say really quickly that if you have people in your life that just won't leave you alone, there's most likely some type of connection going on. Maybe you need to get clearer, more firmer boundaries with your life force and what you want to be governing in your world and in your reality. Yes. Sometimes, and also dependent on how intense the leeching or the interference or the harvestation is, sometimes you need to do things like calling back the energy. Sometimes there needs to be healing that takes place. Sometimes there needs to be a seal off of energy so the energy can no longer get in. Everything is going on in the energy body, so you want to check in with the energy body and meditate upon the experience and see what you need to do, or if you need to go and see a professional healer who can help you enter out of those disempowering life force experiences. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope that was helpful.